Well, hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a delight to work with you. And as we're just starting out, could you tell us a little bit about who you are and how you spend your time?
Yeah, of course. Well, pleasure to be here. And so, a quick intro about myself. So, I'm Suresh. I'm a freelance business consultant. I'm originally from India, but I've lived in the UK for the last 15 years. And I work with multiple companies or organizations. And basically, what I do is to analyze their processes. I look at where to improve efficiencies, drive profitability, and I can, develop strategies, help them improve their profitability, revenue generation, and so forth. So basically, I'm kind of like a free agent. So I work with a lot of companies. Some of them you might have heard. So ones like Dyson, which is a household name, I'm sure. And then there's other companies like the one I'm working with currently is a household name in the UK. So one of the largest food companies. So yeah, that's what I do.
Amazing. And you obviously came to me because you were looking for some time management coaching help. And so what interested you in that or made you think, wow, I'm doing a lot, but I really need to take my time management skills to the next level?
Yeah, so first of all, I read your book, right? So ages ago. So when I was looking at time management, I was just looking at what are all the resources I can get, off the internet and by reading books and Audible and all that. And one of the best books I've read about time management, the first one I read was like Getting Things Done. And the next book I read, which really sort of like changed my whole perspective on time management, was your book, right? So getting things done was like if you think about it as a level one, and your book and the perspective that you gave was like probably I would say level 10 because the thing that I loved the most about your approach to time management, and I'll come to the point of why I came to you specifically for my situation, but that's the approach that you had was more holistic, and it was not just the case of applying, let's say, just theory, but also the considering the emotional aspects of time management, and that was the key thing because obviously we are human beings and emotional beings as such. So a lot of books were just talking about theory of right. Here's what you do and how you do it. Yes, we know how to do it, but have we considered what else is actually going on to drive the behaviors that's keeping us stuck where we are? So hence why I came to you and basically leading up to my situation, right? So I obviously have a day job which is quite busy, but at some point I was working two jobs as I sometimes do as a freelancer. So it's a quite full on in terms of work situation. And for me, it was also a really challenging year. Last year was when I started time management coaching with you. So it was 2024, beginning of 2024, and I had my wedding plan for end of the year. And I also had a house to complete before my wedding, which was all in India, right? So and I was based in the UK and I was traveling back and forth between India and the UK. So yeah, really stressful time as you can imagine with the travel, with the day job and everything else to manage. I'm sure as we discussed, a wedding is kind of stressful enough, but then you add a house in the mix, is pretty chaotic. So I was kind of like really overwhelmed with everything that was going on, and I was just overworking, and I couldn't seem to get things done, no matter how much I was just doing. I was just burning myself out, to be honest. And I thought, okay, this kind of definitely needs professional help. And I thought, you were probably the best person to help me.
Yeah, you definitely had a lot going on with all of the work, plus the wedding, plus the house. You were next level time management. So through working together, what were some of the results that you experienced in terms of how to navigate this time that was extremely busy? And not only extremely busy, but you were going between multiple continents to try to get everything done.
Yeah, so what really helped me and what I got from the sessions with you was clarity, right? So it's I know everyone to a certain level knows what they should be doing, right? It's not really the case of what knowing what we should do, but it's just like having having you as an expert and having a sort of a neutral perspective on anyone's schedule, including mine, you were able to see what is the absolute must, and also what are the things that we could probably, do for later, and just work around the core priorities as such, right? So having that was really helpful for me, because when you're in the midst of things, when you're actually in the mix, it's really hard to tell, the wheat from the chaff, as you say, right? So you kind of get sucked into things and start prioritizing everything, which unfortunately doesn't help, right? You're just constantly in this hamster wheel of like just getting things done every single day, just morning till night, just going nonstop, and that's absolutely not sustainable. So having that clarity from you, from a neutral person, and obviously a time management expert, really helped me.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you did it all. You
Yeah.
successfully completed your contracts. You successfully had a beautiful wedding in India. You successfully built your new home. So you
Yes.
should be extremely proud of yourself, because that was a lot to accomplish and a lot to accomplish all at once. And I'm so glad I could help with that clarity, because it is so easy to get into overwhelm when you have so much going on, you don't even know how to focus. And I know one of the things we were working on too was how to just even navigate the different time zone differences, because there was quite a big time zone difference between the UK and between India. So when you were either in the UK or India, how to make sure you're fulfilling your contracts and doing a great job, and then also have time for the other extremely important personal things you have going on. So I'm so proud of you. You did amazing. And what would you say to someone that's considering working with me and maybe is like, should I do this or should I not? Kind of what are your thoughts for them?
Um, Honestly, I would, to anyone who's thinking of doing time management coaching, I'd say Elizabeth is the person to go to. And from working with you, I can say this: you're an absolute pleasure to work with, and you're an amazing listener, as I've told you many times before. You listen to every single detail, and then you have the ability to just pick out the challenges and the pain points, and what's going right, what's going not so right. So having that sort of ability is really is amazing, to first of all have somebody listen to it in such great detail, and then on top of that, the action guides that you come up with after every session, where you sort of focus on, right, let's look at one thing every session, and let's focus on just improving one area or one aspect, which is the most important for that time. So that sort of really focused, methodical approach is really amazing. So that's what I'd say. It's like, yeah, you absolutely, again, like I said, to repeat, absolutely not only a great person to talk to and work with, but you're really, really good at what you do. So very methodical. So thanks a lot. And
Thank you.
honestly, like I said, with everything that was going on, and this was just like the, let's say, the not even like the 70% of whatever I've done. So there was still all the other bits and bobs that was going on. So I couldn't have honestly done it without the time coaching and the management that you gave me with the action guides. Thank you so much.
Awesome. You are welcome. It was my absolute pleasure to work with you. I so appreciate your time. I so appreciate all your progress. And I'm so excited for you that you get to enjoy being married and the fruit of all of your labors in these different things. So amazing. And anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up?
Yeah, no, I think yeah, like you said, absolutely. From where I started in this journey with you, it was like the ultimate sort of chaos, and like we had a mountain to climb, honestly. But now, having climbed that mountain, right, of going through the wedding prep and the house, and people sickness in the family, and I had health stuff to take care of. So it kind of gives me the confidence to think, oh yeah, I can take on projects, and I can do this again if I had to, given the right sort of help and advice from yourself. And not only that, but also the realization in terms of the relationship with time. If I was the biggest realization I had, and the thing that I take away from it was what's realistic and what's not. In terms of like, I was just overloading myself, and sometimes doing less is doing more. So prioritize and do the things that really matter. Therefore, you sort of not overwhelming yourself. So, and that's the thing that I would really take away, which is going to continue for the rest of my life, really. So, and that's something that everyone should probably adopt as well as an approach, I guess.
Amazing. Awesome. Yes, realistic expectations are so important, because otherwise, no matter how efficient we are, we feel like a failure. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for your time. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. It was amazing to work with you, and thanks for sharing with others.
No worries at all. Yeah, pleasure working with you too, and all the best. Good luck with everything, and I'm sure we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Awesome.